In the headlines, gunmen kill 3 policemen at Ebonyi, Enugu border checkpoint. Police in Niger State arrest 2 suspected kidnappers, rescue 7 victims. FCT residents and motorists lament as fuel scarcity persists. And on the foreign scene, earthquake in Iran's Khoi kills 3, injures hundreds. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Updates. I am Mardia Umar. Now the news in detail. Gunmen have killed 3 policemen during an attack at the border checkpoint along the Enugu-Abakaliki Expressway. It was gathered that the gunmen who drove in 2 Sienna buses struck the checkpoint late Saturday. The police public relations officer in Ebonyi State, Chris Anyanwu, confirmed the incident on Sunday. Although he didn't give all the details about what transpired, the attackers left another officer injured. The victim, who was shot in the leg, is said to be receiving treatment at an undisclosed medical facility in Abakaliki, the state capital. Gunmen have been unleashing terror in Ebonyi and other southeastern states of recent, attacking security operatives and officers of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC.
Here's what I found.
Gunmen have attacked the constituency office of the spokesperson of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Okezie Kalu, in Uzuakoli Federal Constituency of Abia State. Kalu, who confirmed the attack while speaking with journalists in Abuja on Saturday, said that the incident occurred on Friday night, leading to destruction of valuables. He said the officers was attacked about a few minutes past 10 p.m. Over 100 bullets were found, destroying the window and ceilings of the All Progressives Congress flyers were pulled down and torn into shreds. The billboards were also destroyed. Kalu said the matter has been reported at Uzuakoli Police Station on the Bender Division. And now to Niger State, where the State Police Command on Saturday said 2 suspected kidnappers were arrested in Gurara local government area of Niger State, rescuing 7 victims, including 6 male and 1 female. The command's police public relations officer, DSP Wasiwa Abiodun, in a statement said the arrests were made around 10:30 a.m. on Friday based on intelligence received that 2 male adults were sighted looking around Lambata Bonu Road, Gurara local government area. And according to Abiodun, the tactical teams had a gun battle with the suspected abductors in the forest. In the process, the hoodlums escaped from the hideout and abandoned 6 victims, 6 males and 1 female at the scene. The PPRO added that the victims were rescued unhurt, taken to the Federal Medical Center for medical attention and reunited with their families. It disclosed that the suspects, aged 18 and 21, confessed to being members of the kidnapping syndicate terrorizing Gwagwalada, FCT Abuja, Lambata and Kafim-Koro areas, respectively. Residents of Kaduna Metropolis are besieging ATM's point in the state to withdraw the redesigned Naira notes before the expiration of the January 31st deadline. The residents are expressing dismay over the scarcity of the currency and hardship they encounter while trying to withdraw money at the ATM. Though they say many ATMs are dispersing the redesigned Naira notes, they however say that the machines are doing so at a very slow pace. Take a look.
The Central Bank of Nigeria introduced cash swap at the market and other public places, and also directed commercial banks to dispense the new notes to customers in order to meet up with the January 31st deadline. Residents who besieged ATM's point in Kaduna Metropolis to get the redesigned Naira note before the deadline elapsed are concerned that the policy will not end well for many Nigerians.
I came here about some minutes to 9 o'clock, and this is 11 minutes after 12 right now. So it's been like stressful all through, but I've gotten the money so far. And again, while withdrawing, sometimes the machine will go off that the time is out and whatever the challenge is. So that's it.
I am thankful to God because I was able to withdraw the new notes from the ATM, but there is a long queue.
For POS operators, the introduction of the cash swap by the Central Bank of Nigeria is a sigh of relief to many, especially those at the rural areas.
In cash swapping, you are swapping money from your customer, any customer that comes to your location. As you need to swap, you can collect the money, he come to swap for you. If a person brings 20,000, you can swap him 10,000.
This swaps means when customer comes to you, those that has no account, maybe they wanted to change their money from old notes to new notes, then they will give us a maximum of 10,000 we swap for a person. So
the Central Bank of Nigeria, while restating its commitment to ensuring that nobody loses money to the policy, maintained that the affected notes are still legal tender till January 31st.
Well, we went around all the major markets and we make it known to the people that this is a legal tender up to 31st of this month. So it's legal tender, people can transact businesses with it, and there's no need for the rejection of the old bills. They will be operating side by side with the new ones.
So what this is a follow-up to our last week visit. It's actually a mop-up operation. We have come, there is a circular that was released for us to do cash swap with a lot of people on the streets, people that don't have accounts or people that have some small businesses. So these are the people that need some cash with them, so we have an arrangement with some of the banks, which management has approved that, we go and reach out to them through the agent banking.
Though Central Bank of Nigeria maintained its position of no going back on the deadline, people are still calling for an extension to enable them swap their old notes for the new notes. Bella Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Now we move to Katsina, where the effect of the shortage in supply of the Naira notes is hitting hard on residents in the last few days. Many small-scale businesses and petty traders, which are the mainstay of many residents, are either at the verge of collapsing or have completely collapsed following the non-availability of the notes for transactions. Abdullahi Yamadi spoke with some business owners who narrate the ordeal and how they are struggling to survive the hardship. The report.
These Katsina residents described the long queues at various commercial banks as pathetic and injurious to the economy of the state. Apart from other residents who besieged ATM points for the cash, the Katsina State government a few days back paid January salary to its workers, a situation that further compounded the long queues of customers trying to access the new currency. These queues are visible at various ATM points, banking halls, and POS outlets across the state. Some of these customers spend long hours waiting in futility as they return without cash.
You can only withdraw 20,000 per day. So there's so many people, they want to use the money, but the money they are not enough for us. So we beg the government in order to assist us because they are too hard to get money that we're going to use in our family issue.
So we have been here for more than at least 10 hours. We are here and they are not yet even cashing the money up to now. And the money they are not up to enough.
Many POS operators have temporarily closed down for fear of collecting old notes and not being able to swap them for the new ones. The story remains the same at some local animals on other general goods markets, as many dealers and prospective buyers look stranded, exhausted, and disappointed. At that point, some business owners and buyers resorted to trade by barter in order to meet their needs. People are coming to the market with old notes, which we cannot accept because of the deadline by the Apex Bank. Some customers that are really in need come to the market with something in exchange of another. For instance, someone brought bags of maize and collected a ram. Meanwhile, the Central Bank of Nigeria has deployed 150 registered agents to the 34 local government areas of Katsina State to ease the difficulties being faced by residents in swapping the new currency. This was announced by the Director Currency Operations of the Nigeria's Apex Bank, Ahmed Bello Umar, during a press briefing in Katsina.
As of today, there is no new directive on the extension. The deadline still remains 31st January 2023. So we advise people to adhere to the deadline and deposit their money. They should prioritize depositing their old currency notes into the banks so that they can always withdraw the new notes. Even if they don't have the opportunity now, they will be able to use the notes when they are available.
Although experts are saying the policy is good for the economy of the nation, many Nigerians are, however, hopeful that the CBN will further extend the deadline to enable them exchange the old for the new. Abdullahi Izumayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
And we are now to political matters as the presidential candidates of different parties are going around campaign. The presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Atiku Abubakar, has pledged to reopen Nigeria's borders that were closed by President Muhammadu Buhari. He made the pledge at the party's presidential campaign in Birnin Kebbi, the Kebbi state capital, on Saturday. He noted that the borders would foster trade and investment between Nigeria and her neighboring countries. He said that nobody must stop Nigeria from trading with their neighbors. Atiku also assured the people that if he is elected president, he will tackle the security challenges in the country to promote agricultural activities. At the rally, the former governor of Adamawa State, Bindo Jibrila, and a former director of civil society in the All Progressives Congress APC presidential campaign council, Najat Muhammad, were officially received into the PDP. The presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has assured the Zamfara indigents that he will focus on the agriculture and mining sectors to develop the state economically if elected in the forthcoming election. And according to him, the development of the sectors will create more job opportunities that will reduce the rate of crime bedeviling the state. Tinubu disclosed this during his campaign rally at the Trade Fair Complex in Gusau, the state capital, saying that despite what he termed the sabotage, APC will emerge victorious in all elections. He further stated that he was not in Zamfara to campaign, but to say big thank you to the people because of their massive support to the party since Nigeria returned to democracy in 1999. And also, Labour Party's presidential candidate Peter Obi has promised to rejig the security architecture, support education, and end poverty if elected into office in the next month's election. Obi made the promise during the party's rally in Maiduguri. Beatrice Kuritsi has more.
It's a huge crowd of the Obi Dati supporters at the Ramat Square in Maiduguri as the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, and his running mate stormed Borno State for their campaign rally. The presidential candidate and his vice came along with party leaders and other aspirants to woo the people to get their PVC and vote the Obi Dati ticket.
The umbrella we voted was leaking, so we don't know where we are. A group of people came up and said they promised us change. We don't know that, and they came with a broom. So they sweep everything. And now we found ourselves here today.
It's almost 9 years, Chibok girls, some of them are still in captivity. There are a lot of women that have been in captivity. A lot of children, a lot of adults are in captivity. And Mr. Peter Obi have said something always. As long as one Nigerian is in captivity, we all are in captivity.
What reasonable people should do is to effect a change. And by the grace of God, next month's election has given Borno people another opportunity to take their destiny in their hands.
The party's presidential flag bearer says he's saddened by the lack that is prevalent in the state, despite having a vast land that is arable enough to boost agriculture. He added that he will end poverty and the menace of out-of-school children in the north if elected. Obi enjoined Nigerians to vote character and competence, assuring that his presidency is willing to rebuild Nigeria.
And that is what that is offering. We've said we will secure and unite Nigeria. The enemies are not more formidable. The criminals are not more formidable. It is lack of leadership and lack of support for those people who put on the front line. We will put the children of the north out of poverty. Our government will be celebrated in the north.
23 elections, which is slated for February 25th, will determine if the Labour Party will clinch enough votes from Borno State and indeed across Nigeria to enable it fulfill its lofty ideals for the nation.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has announced another one-week extension of the deadline for the collection of permanent voters card PVCs by 1 week. The National Commissioner and Chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee, Festus Okoye, noted this on Saturday in a statement in Abuja. According to him, the deadline, which was initially extended till January 29, has now been extended till February 5. Okoye said the Commission met on January 28, a day after its meeting with resident electoral commissioners from the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, and deliberated on a number of issues, including the reports from REX on the ongoing collection of PVCs in its 774 local government area offices nationwide. You're watching Trust TV News Updates. Coming up, we'll take a look at how Nigeria's patrilineal family structure gives sons leverage over daughters. Do stay tuned.
Nigeria na we country, APC na the party, na one man be a choice.
At last, the elections are here. Let's turn out en masse on election day and vote Asiwaju Bola Tinubu as President of Nigeria for a renewed hope and a better Nigeria. Vote APC, the party that shows a broom.
Media Trust Group, in collaboration with the Center for Democracy and Development, presents the 2023 Kano gubernatorial debate, featuring candidates of 4 major political parties: Nasir Yusuf Gawuna of the APC, Bashir Ishaq Bashir of the Labour Party, Abba Kabir Yusuf of the NMPP, and Muhammad Abacha of the PDP. Date: Saturday, 4th February 2023. Time: 10 a.m. Venue: Bayero University Kano New Site. The event is strictly by invitation and no political supporters are expected at the venue.
I will be there. I will be there.
I will be there. Media partners: Express Radio 90.3 FM, Nasara Radio 98.5 FM, Freedom Radio, and ARTV Kano. The debate will be broadcast live on Trust TV and other channels across the country.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. This is the news update on Trust TV. A recap of our top stories. We told you that government killed 3 policemen at a Ebonyi-Enugu border checkpoint. And the police in Niger State arrest 2 suspected kidnappers, rescue 7 victims. And the reports just reaching us say that the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has extended the deadline for the use of the old notes till February 10. CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele announced the extension in a statement signed on Sunday. Emefiele, who was in Daura on Sunday morning, had a closed-door meeting with President Buhari, where he obtained the approval. He said Nigerians who are yet to change their Naira notes from the old to the new ones now have a new opportunity to do so. The Apex Bank's governor cautioned that people must utilize the opportunity because the deadline will not be extended again. The Central Bank of Nigeria had last year introduced redesigned 200 Naira, 500 Naira and 1,000 Naira notes and gave a deadline of 31st January 2023 for swapping of the notes. Details of this in our subsequent bulletin. And the workers of the Nigerian Postal Service, NIPO staff, are threatening to embark on industrial action from Monday. And then the protesting staff urged the federal government that they are to urgently intervene before the industrial action commences, as they are alleging abandonment by the federal government. The General Secretary of the Senior Staff Association of Statutory Corporations and Government-Owned Companies, Ayo Olonfemi, led the protest on Friday. According to Olonfemi, several staff members of the service have not been receiving any form of capital funding from the federal government in the last 15 years. He also asked the government to beam its searchlight on the finances of the agency. And moving on, in Nigeria's patrilineal family structure, sons are most or more often than not given certain leverages and opportunities than the daughters. This makes parents to consider the sons as insurance for their parents, as they are believed to be the ones who will likely look after them, continue the family name and business after the daughters have been married off. In this report, Salis Lawan takes a look at gender preferences in Nigerian families. Take a look.
Actually, that is the reality. Men are more than female in reality. But what is happening there, some of the social places, if you go there, you see more women, more female than male. You may think that it's just female are more than male, but actually it is not.
In some part of Nigeria, the birth of a son ushers in unprecedented celebrations in the family when compared to the birth of a daughter. Based on some cultures, it is believed that woman's name is not entrenched in her husband's home until she has given birth to a male child. This put pressure on female spouses to give birth to male children, even when they have girls. From this analogy, one will ordinarily feel there should be more males than females in a society like this. But this is the case.
Yes, it's true that women are greater in number than men. Reasons as follows, where I can say and I can back my statements. One, if you happen to go to hospital today, you see the number of females, they're more greater, 3 times than that of men. If you happen to go to market, the same thing. If you happen to go to FCE, the same thing. If you happen to go to State Polytechnic here, the same thing. So which shows that the number of females is greater than that of men.
What I see and what I discover is female are more useful to the family or any other place, because when you see birth rate or daughters that graduate from universities and any other higher institutions, they take more care of their parents than the male.
They said in some cultures, repeated birth of female children causes marital disharmony, divorce, and in some cases, polygamy.
Actually, psychologically, it will affect through mental effect, through emotional, and even stress, anxiety. Because most of the parents now, if their wife is being given birth and they say that what did they get? Female. Psychologically, it affects them because all their ambition is just to get a male.
Women who repeatedly give birth to females are more likely to have frequent maternity visits in an attempt to bear a son. This has led many into serious health conditions and also raised family sizes beyond the capacity of the parent. From Yola, Salis Lawan, Trust TV News.
Residents and motorists in the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, and its environs have continued to lament the hardship being experienced as the scarcity of premium motor spirit, PMS, also known as petrol, worsened. News Agency of Nigeria reports that long queues of vehicles were seen at all the stations that have petroleum product. Those that have the product were dispensing at 195 naira per litre, while the NNPC limited retail stations were dispensing at 194 per litre. The situation is also worse along Nyanya-Kefi Highway, as many filling stations did not have petroleum product, while along Lugbe Airport Road, queues were seen at Damarna, Nipco, Shafa and AA Renault filling stations. Many motorists expressed dissatisfaction over the non-availability of the product, adding that the situation was frustrating and demoralizing as they normally stay over the next day to get fuel. And on the international scene, a magnitude 5.9 earthquake in the city of Khoi in northwestern Iran has killed at least 3 and injured hundreds. The governor of West Azerbaijan province, Mohammad Sadeh, said at least 816 people were injured and some were transported to the nearby countries for treatment. The largest earthquake took place late on Saturday at the depth of 7 kilometers and was felt in Ormia and several other countries as well. And that brings us to the end of the news update at this hour. For more, you can follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Martia Umar. Thank you for watching.